Hi everyone, my name is Tina Juk with New Mexico Does, the desert organization Excavating Socialism. I wanted to come to you today to give you an update on my first 30 days after having relaunched this project on May 20th. So in the last 30 days, I've been able to post 2 video interviews that I did. The first one is with a woman named Neri Barnett Kircher, who was born in Cuba, and she spent 3 years in a forced labor camp, and she talks about, all of the things that her family went through under Fidel Castro. And the second one was with a woman named Branka Barrett. And Branka's story is a little bit different because she's from the former Yugoslavia. She actually enjoyed her time under President Tito when there was peace in Yugoslavia. And if you know any of the history, you know that they experienced war and Yugoslavia broke up and it no longer exists. But her story is very interesting. And both of these ladies, though, are very thankful to be living in America and living in a free country. And so I encourage you, if you didn't see those stories, to go back and watch them. And then in the next week or two, I'm going to be doing interviews with a man who teaches classes on communism. So I'm really excited about this. When I started it in the name Desert Organization, Excavating Socialism, excavating is the process of peeling back the top layers to see what's underneath. And I'm going through this with everybody else because this wasn't my background. And so I'm learning everything with you. And I'm really excited to be able to present that. So please watch in the next couple of weeks. I wanted to tell you about something that I wrote about in a blog about a week ago. But last year, I was doing an interview with the newspaper, and the editor asked me a question, which didn't go into the interview, but he asked me, what my motivation was, why I pay attention to politics, why I get involved in political matters. And I never really talked about it much, mostly out of respect for the pain at the time. But in 1999, April 20th, I was living in Littleton, Colorado, about 2 miles from Columbine High School when the shootings occurred. And it was such a painful, horrific time for people that it's not really one that I've talked about much. And I didn't know any of the families that lost children there. I did know several of the high school students who lived on our street. We lived in a wonderful, kind and caring community. So that whole event was just such a shock to everything we knew to be true, and a lot of pain surrounding that. But during that time, I started watching the news because if you were watching, you saw that shows like the Today Show and many others set up camp out there, and they were interviewing witnesses and family members and friends and everything. And so I started watching, but then I saw that the conversation started to shift a little. And instead of taking on issues one by one, like school bullying or mental illness, what they did is they started tying school bullying and mental illness to gun control. And basically what they were saying is, because these things exist, we need more gun control. And I tell you this today because there's a history of doing that. There's a history of taking these horrible tragedies and then using them for political agendas without actually ever solving the problem. And so last week I saw a headline I wanted to share with you, and this is the Socialist Party, I believe this is out of the UK, and they have a picture of some protesters, and there's a woman in the middle posing for the picture, and she's holding a sign. They all have masks on, and she has a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. I don't know where this picture was taken, but the headline for the article is "Capitalism equals racism. You fight capitalism with socialism." And this is very concerning to me because for one thing, the goal of this project is to distance us from socialism. But I see them using these tragedies. I see them using the Black Lives Matter movement for a socialist/communist agenda. And so I'm really concerned about that. And so I hope that you will help me going forward with this project. I hope that if you know people who've lived under real socialism or real communism, put them in touch with me so I can interview them. Have them contact me by email at nmdoes@gmail.com, or they can message me through the Facebook page. And let's keep spreading this message. Let's keep pushing back on socialism and communism because America is at a real crossroads right now, and we have to get very serious about the direction our country is headed in and the leaders that we're putting in charge of it. So I thank you all for your time. I thank you for your efforts, and God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.